Welcome to the Fordham Career Center. Join us as we explore the personal stories and career insights of our Fordham community. In each episode, we'll be connecting with students and alumni to hear about how they realized their career path and navigated the job search. We'll be taking you a level deeper, diving into pressing questions about all things career related and figuring out, where do we go from here? Welcome to another episode of Dear Ram, Where Do I Go From Here? My name is Allie, and I am the Assistant Director of Student Engagement at the Rose Hill Career Center, as well as your host. My pronouns are she, her. And today I am so excited to welcome Huyen Lam to the podcast. Huyen is a Gabelli School of Business alum with a major in business administration and concentrations in marketing and information systems. And 3 fun facts about Huyen to kick off the episode are that she's a huge foodie. She has 2 golden retrievers, and she's a Disney fanatic. So welcome to the podcast, Huyen.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to get it started.
Of course. We are excited to have you here. And I have to know, so you're a huge foodie. What is your favorite go-to place in the city? I'm always looking for food recommendations.
I'm a huge lover of Thai food.
Me too.
That's like one of my favorite types of cuisine. So I feel like Thai Villa. I love Thai Villa. That's like one of my favorites.
And where is that?
If I'm not mistaken, Thai Villa, that is near the Chelsea area.
Near Chelsea. Okay, fantastic. I've written that down. I will be going there. I'm very excited. So thank you for that recommendation. And I'm going to start and kick off this episode the way I've kicked off all episodes of this podcast. For those listeners who don't know you and need a little background, what is your macro bio or the story of your life up until now?
Yeah, of course. So just a little about me. I am from the Bronx. I grew up in the Bronx in New York, so actually not far from Fordham itself. I lived like 15 minutes away, not far from there. And just growing up, fun fact, I actually wanted to be a baker growing up, but that didn't really work out. So went to college and went to Fordham Business School, and there I just studied like what you said, marketing, and I was just a creative person, so just finding my way there and just finding out what I wanted to do and trying different internships, jobs, and where I'm currently at now. But I definitely will go to that more later as well.
Very cool. Great. And what was kind of the inspiration between the shift from being a baker and going into marketing? What inspired you to go into marketing to begin with?
Well, baking, it's one of my hobbies. And honestly, baking, you have to either go all in or that's it. So I was like, I'll just take it as a hobby. And like baking, it's hard. The pay, not so great either. So I was like, let me just do a career where like I've been a creative person. So I think marketing was for me. Like I've always been like a creative person. I have like so many ideas out there. So I just think marketing was for me.
Awesome. And I know you also, so in addition to your major in business administration and the concentrations in marketing and information systems, you also decided to tack on a minor in new media and digital design. Was there a reason behind that? Is that something that you currently use in your job?
Yeah, so I would say so. Just diving in more into my major, I did business admin and I concentrated in marketing and info systems because, like I said, I always loved marketing, but also I've always liked the data analytics part. So that's where info systems came in. And something that I knew I wanted to dive into was digital analytics, like digital marketing. So I took on info systems, just learning more about analytics and how to use that data. And for my minor, new media and digital design, I honestly did that because it was helping me fulfill just in my courses that I needed. But then also, I think those are like fun classes that I took there too. So like I took Photoshop classes, I took JavaScript classes, HTML, CSS. Just learning those were pretty cool too. And it was just more so like the creative side of it as well.
Got it. Yeah, actually, that's a great transition into my next question. I was going to ask, in addition to those new new media and digital design courses, were there any other courses you took that you feel really enhanced your understanding of the field you're currently in or equipped you with practical knowledge that you still use today?
Yeah, I would say like besides like the basic marketing classes that you're required to take as like a Fordham Gabelli student, I just feel like I took a few like just other marketing classes and just learning about the different types of marketing because there's so much out there. And even to this day, I'm not really like sure like where it is I really want to be set in, just learning all different types of marketing. And that's where my experience has been trying all different types, PR marketing, social media marketing, digital marketing, sales. There's so much out there. But also one class that I kind of wish I took, I know my friends took is, and there's like an Excel class where I know like people are like, oh, you know, Excel, but like just learning the basics of Excel and just like that as well. It's fun. And also for my new media and digital design classes, I had a class where we had to create just like a project, like a whole new idea, a business idea, and that was really fun. And one of my funnest class that I took was actually a Disney class that I took at Fordham. I actually got to attend Disney. It was a group of like 15 of us, and we had to like think of a problem with Disney in the parks, come up with a whole solution to it, build out a whole idea, and just market that out. So that was a really fun class that I took there as well.
That sounds very cool. I could be wrong because I am not in Gabelli, nor have ever been,
Mm-hmm.
but that kind of sounds like the consulting cup, no? Where you resolve a problem for a major corporation like Disney.
Yeah, so it was similar to that, but this was just a smaller scale where you actually got to like go to the place. So for example, another class where my friend took, he got to go to Tokyo, and that was a
Wow.
different class. So that was also a marketing class, but that was focused on like photography and landscaping.
Very cool. That sounds very interesting. Well, those classes definitely um, sound like ones that our listeners should take. So I hope you all took notes there. And then I know that while also at Fordham, you held two internships. So you had one internship at SEEN Group as a beauty PR intern, and one at DKBmed. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
As a social media intern. So how did you find those opportunities, and what kind of skills did you gain from those opportunities that kind of helped you in a career in retention marketing?
Yeah, so definitely. So when I was in Fordham, I did attend all career fairs and all of that. And also, as like a Gabelli student, you were always required to like keep your resume updated, build up your LinkedIn profile. So that's actually where I found the SEEN internship, the PR one that I did. I found that one on LinkedIn, applied, got reached out to. I just went through the normal interview process and did that. But for the other one, DKBmed, which is actually like a medical education company,
Mm-hmm.
I found that through Handshake, which I'm think Fordham still uses to this day, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I found that one through Handshake and I applied. And from those, there were two, I would say, completely different, obviously, realms. One was in the beauty industry and one was in the medical industry. But it was kind of similar where I did do a lot of competitor analysis. So just looking at competitor analysis and building out campaigns. So like for the medical education one, I was a social media intern. So handling all the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all the ads and all of that, handling that and reaching out to people as well. So that's where it's similar to the beauty one, where I reached out to a lot of different beauty influencers, reaching out to them to set up PR events, building those out as well. So I'd say for those, what I did learn a lot is just the analytics parts and also like presentation. I did a lot of presentations for those two internships.
Very cool. Yeah. Actually, I'm glad you mentioned that it was very different for you to work first in the beauty industry and then in the medical education industry.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you've worked in organizations representing a wide range of different industries, which we'll get into in a minute, those other companies. But what have you gained, do you think, from conducting marketing through those different lenses?
Yeah, I feel like I've done such different wide of industries and just learning about being in the different industries, there I would say it's similar but also different because it's similar where you can still use those same assets. I feel like that's for any job where you carry one skill asset from another place to another. So that's where like the analytic skills come in, the creative skills come in, where I'm still to this day, where my current job, I'm still coming up with strategies, creating presentation decks, analyzing data and using that as well. But I think it was just fun exploring the different industries too to see like where it is I really want to be in. And for me personally, I knew I always wanted to be in entertainment. Like that was always my end goal, being in entertainment. And for like entertainment, I didn't really know what type of marketing I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I just knew like I want to be in marketing. But then when I did the social media intern, I was like, social media was just not for me. I didn't really enjoy that much.
Mm-hmm.
And also for PR, the PR one, it was cool, like getting to know like in the beauty industry, because that's something I'm a huge fan of too, makeup and all of that. That was fun, but just the PR industry wasn't for me either. So I knew I wanted to go into digital marketing. So that's where after college, graduating in 2020, it was a difficult time. Obviously, the pandemic, all the job freezes, and I ended up landing a job at Dow Jones where I was in retention marketing, which is something I've never done before, but I was like, let me just try it and see if I like it. So retention marketing is more so like keeping customers, like how do you retain them as a customer? So just dealing with that, and I enjoyed that, but it wasn't like the newspaper media. It was the media industry, but newspaper, so not as enjoyable as I thought. And I just applied elsewhere, and then that's where I found myself at Paramount Plus, which is entertainment industry. So I really like this industry now.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. And I know you briefly touched on there the definition of, what retention marketing is. What
Mhm.
do you do in your current role at Paramount Plus as a retention marketer? What does kind of the day in the life look like for you?
Yeah, I feel like, of course, everybody gives the typical answers. Every day is different. But for me, I would say like it is different, but at the same time, I am working on overall bigger projects. So for my role, particularly, I work on cancellation and win back. So that means whenever somebody's trying to cancel or somebody has already canceled and they've expired out, how do I get them back? So that's where like retention marketing comes in. I'm on the monetization side, so basically where the money comes in. So for me, my role, I would say, is coming up with strategies on like what type of campaigns do we want to bring out there, whether it be email campaigns, mobile campaigns, web campaigns, sending those out there and working with different teams. So the marketing ops team to put up a strategy on how do we want to put campaigns. So for example, like cancellation, some campaigns I've set up where it's multi channel would be web, push, and email. So for that, once a customer cancels, once a subscriber cancels, I came up with a campaign to send them a restart email with basically personalized content. Because what we learned is that whatever it comes to customers, the best way to maintain them is when it comes to personalization. So just sending them content that they actually want to see and having that inclination to restart as well.
Very cool. Yeah. Do you know, like, could you tell me about what, in your opinion, and from your experience, is the most effective way to maintain a client or customer relationship? I know that that probably varies widely on the company you're in.
Definitely. So I would say for me, particularly for the entertainment industry and being in the streaming services, it's like what I mentioned before, it's with the personalization. So sending them the content they actually want to see. Like if we know like your profile is a kids based with family, we're not gonna send you like horror type content, like, but if you are a drama watcher, we'll send you a type of drama watchers and all that. But also another thing is promos. So obviously people love when you give out like free codes, like free 1 month or sales as well. So for me, that's part of my job as well. It's determining like what price point and what coupon codes do we want to give out to people and how is that going to affect our ROI as well.
Very, very cool. That's so interesting. And how do you do that exactly? This is not so much for the podcast. This is for
Mhm.
my own understanding of retention marketing.
In terms of what, like promo codes or what?
Yeah, like promo codes and coupons.
Yeah, so that's like for us, it's really like, I guess, it's whatever I come up with. Like I would say, like, let's say whatever plan we have, it's the ad-free plan. I can come up with an idea for to give 50% off for, let's say, 2 months. And I would just give that idea out there, bring it to my manager. If it gets approved, then we're all set. And it's just working with other teams to build up that promo code. And then once we have that, it's setting up how do I actually want to market that code out there. And most of the times I do it through email and mobile pushes. So it's just sending the code out to segmented audiences. So you can either A/B test, like half of them would get this code versus half would get another type of code with a different offer, and just seeing which one works better.
Okay. Got it. That's awesome. And this may be a little bit repetitive from the last question I asked you, but could you tell me about kind of like a successful or really unique retention strategy that you've used either at Paramount Plus or at Dow Jones that allowed you to maintain or keep a client or customer?
Yeah, I would say that one example is another. I didn't touch on this earlier, but another area that I work on is dormancy. So what this means is people who have not, like, they're an active subscriber, but they haven't watched any content in, let's say, 1 month, 2 months or so. So I set up a targeted campaign where I would send recommended content and reaching out to them basically with in the email saying like, hey, like we noticed you haven't been active in a while. Here's all the content that you're missing out on. Watch XYZ or whatever content it is. And we would send that on a rolling basis. So every single day it would be rolling at, let's say, 8 p.m. And they would get that email content. And we actually, once we saw that email come out, we did see an increase in the engagement rate and the active subs rate as well.
Wow. That's amazing. Congratulations. That
Mm-hmm.
sounds really great.
Thank you.
And I'm curious, kind of rewinding back from your post-grad experience, while you were at Fordham, what steps did you take that you could maybe advise first or second year students who are looking to go into marketing? What steps did you take in order to ensure a successful career in marketing? And, what tips could you give to students who are kind of looking to follow in your same footsteps?
Yeah, of course. Aside from like the classes that you're required to take, I would say just like look for other classes that you think would be interesting. Like I took like so many different types of marketing classes, even like those creative classes, like I mentioned earlier, like Photoshop or those like creative classes where you would learn things. And I feel like as like a first and second year, yes, you can get internships in your second year as a sophomore, and that is a great start to head like start as well. And I feel like as like you're an early year student, it's just figuring out what you want to do. Like it's just learning. There's so many different types of marketing. And I learned about so much when I was in Fordham. And even to this day, like I mentioned, I'm not sure like where it is I really want to be in, what type of marketing. I've done so much now, my retention marketing, but who knows in the future I might go into different types of marketing as well. But also just going into clubs at Fordham as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in different marketing club as well, the Fordham Marketing Association. So I know they've had meetings where they brought alumni as well. And I remember there was one session I attended where they brought alumni from like a bunch of different industries. So somebody actually from Paramount at the time came in as well, and she was working at MTV. So that was really cool
Wow.
listening to her story and just connecting with people and learning about. That's a huge another thing too. As they always say, like network. But I think it is really important just to network and learn about what other people are doing, and that helps you find like what you're interested in as well.
Yeah, definitely. Hearing about other people's experiences and seeing how they fit in the scheme of your own life is super important.
Mm-hmm.
So I love all of that messaging. Um, and obviously, you're in retention marketing, you're out there being a huge foodie, you're out there loving Disney. I'm sure you have a ton on your plate. And as you know, as a part of kind of the Fordham mission, we believe in Cura Personalis, or care for the whole person. How do you, in the midst of work and everything else you have going on in your life right now, maintain care for the whole self? How do you kind of maintain self-care both inside and out of work?
Yeah, I would definitely say it's just finding that right work-life balance. And for me personally, being in my industry and my company, we have a very well balanced like time. I work just 9 to 5 and that's it. Like once my 5 is done, I'm out, I'm signing off. I'm not checking my emails and like that, anything like that. Whereas like I know some people in other industry, my friends in other industries, they're working like crazy hours and it's just hard for them to find that work-life balance. And for me, also, I work a hybrid schedule. So I'm in office right now. The summers, I'm only in 1 day a week. For the rest of the days, I'm working from home. Whereas like fall, winter, I'm in 2 days a week. But that's really nice as well, just working from home. And
Mm.
with that balance, it's just finding things that like on the weekends, doing things that I like to do, going around the city, hanging out with friends, and all of that as well.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Well,
Mm-hmm.
that sounds great. And the final question I have here to kind of round out our discussion is, where do you see yourself going from here? What are kind of the long-term goals for you?
Oh, that question. I feel like for
Do you feel like you're in an
now,
interview?
that question. So right now I am so my role exactly is I'm an associate manager in retention marketing for Paramount Plus. So right now I feel like typically like I just obviously want to work my way up the ladder and become like manager, senior manager, etc. But I do see myself for right now, like in the next few years, staying in the entertainment industry. Like I really like working in the entertainment industry. It's fun just seeing the new content, especially with like me being in Paramount Plus. I get like the inside scoop of like when things come out, before they come out. We have private screenings and all that, and I think that's really cool. And since I've tried out all the industries before, the medical industry, the beauty industry, those weren't for me. And I don't see myself working in like the financial industry or marketing for that or the banking industry. But who knows? I know like tech is like the new thing now where everybody wants to go into tech.
Mm.
But who knows? Maybe in the future. But for right now, in the next few years, I still see myself staying in the entertainment industry and doing marketing, but maybe a different type of marketing. I'm not sure yet.
Very cool. That's super exciting. Well, we can't wait to see you expand into different types of marketing in the entertainment world. But in the meantime, best of luck at Paramount. And hopefully, if you said you live in the Bronx, correct? So hopefully we
Yes.
could run into you again soon. And something that I've been doing with some of our guests, only if you're comfortable with this, if you would feel comfortable giving students your LinkedIn profile so that they can connect with you or message you and ask you any questions about marketing. That would be great. But if not, that's okay as well.
No, definitely. I That's totally fine with me. Even to this day, I still have friends reaching out to me on LinkedIn and helping them with like resumes and stuff like that and advice. So I would love that.
Okay, great. So to anyone listening, if you would like to connect with Huyen via LinkedIn, your name is just Huyen Lam. So Huyen -Lam. or
Yes,
space
correct.
LAM. And that is her LinkedIn profile. But thank you so much for joining us, Huyen. It was great having you here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. And definitely, if you have any questions or anything like that, just feel free to reach out to me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us for this episode. If you're interested in learning more about the Fordham Career Center, check us out on social media at Fordham Careers. Want advice on how to craft the best resume and score the job or internship of your dreams? Log into Handshake and schedule an appointment with one of our career counselors. We look forward to helping you figure out where to go from here.